your seatbelt. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Chrissie is hilarious.
Chrissie, have you ever heard of the comedian Basha K. Ali?
No, that sounds like something you yell out before you blow up a plane.
Basha K. Ali!
30 seconds remaining.
But you know what good you say I dabbled in stand-up or something. I haven't been disrespectful to you at all.
I was very confused by the title, Everything Everywhere All at Once, because that's also what we call it when Ash takes off his shirt. I shouldn't be up here. I should be in school on the other side of the ocean. Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to another episode of the Chrissie Mayr podcast. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can listen everywhere. You can listen to podcasts, really. Spotify, SoundCloud, Rumble, Rockfin, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook sometimes. Sometimes I'm a lot on Facebook. Other times they're taking episodes off for hate speech. That's right. Still, any poop. Glad you're all here today. I'm welcoming back onto the program a dear friend, a fellow YouTube content creator, and all around just great gal. Welcome back to the show, Ms. Ari Jacob.
Hello.
Do we like this? No, we like this.
I can move if you need me to.
Or we like this. I mean, I like this. Ari's here to talk about a subject I have been waiting. I have been putting a toe in, and now I feel like I'm in about waist deep. And that is the whole Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni drama. I've been watching a lot of videos. I'm going to tell you what I know, Ari, which is not much, and then you're going to fill in the gaps. So Justin, I guess, for a period of several years, sort of courted the author of It Ends With Us, it started with a book. And I guess for years he's been trying to get the rights to make this movie. And I guess in 2022, he signed on Blake to play the lead role of Lily. And I heard that she did not even read the book. She just completely dismissed the source material, which apparently is like a disrespectful thing. The most disrespectful thing an actor can do is just like straight up dismiss, not read the book. I mean, you have one book.
Yeah.
There's actors who prepare for roles for months and months, and they gain and lose weight. They change their physical bodies. They read hundreds of books, documents, and Blake couldn't even be bothered to read this one book. Since she is a high caliber actress, for some reason, people think that of her, and she was brought on, I guess, even though she was not going to produce in any capacity, what came with her signing on was like an executive producer, I guess, credit, even though she's just playing the lead role. And then it seems like eventually it kind of just fell apart. To me, it just seems like she is extremely difficult to work with, a liar, and she uses Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift as basically like she's a mob boss, and those are her
It's a good way to put it.
street toughs that go in and threaten people and I guess get stuff done for her. And it just seems like everybody around her has to tiptoe around her, and did during the whole making of this movie. And even despite that, she's suing, I guess, Justin, who was the lead actor and also the producer of It Ends With Us.
Right.
And I just want to know, how much of this is she is a horrible person, and she I don't know. And at first I was like, is maybe she cheating on Ryan with Justin? Is that why there's all this kind of angst and weirdness?
Well, there's a lot of powerful sort of Hollywood players involved in this, and we don't even know to what extent Sony as a studio was, pressured by Lively, or were they, trying to suck up to Ryan Reynolds. Like, who, I don't know, but I can guarantee you that there's things behind the scenes that we don't know are going on. And there's definitely several people that benefited from. I don't even think that necessarily Blake Lively was going to file a lawsuit right away. I think that she filed first this complaint that then landed in the email of the New York Times Me Too journalist Megan Twohey, who basically claimed that she blew the lid off of the Harvey Weinstein story, when we really know that Rose McGowan blew the lid off of that story, but they took credit. Rose McGowan said that they were gross because they were basically just patting themselves on the back, didn't give her much credit, but if it wasn't for her, they wouldn't have done it. So these are people that let's talk about the New York Times journalists. They're people that just want all the, they want the credit, the prestige. Okay, we break every Me Too story. That's who they are. The New York Times, even when Taylor Lorenz was there, the girl that attacked me, she was basically standing for Amber Heard. So that's kind of how the New York Times operates, is they're the woke, believe all women, and it's not even the thing is that they didn't even really in the article say what exactly did Baldoni do to Blake Lively. Even in the complaint, it was a few things, but to me, it sounded fishy. And I'm just why are they using specific words that sound more salacious? So they confuse everybody like they normally do. This is what a hit piece does. They confuse the public who doesn't work in Hollywood. We don't know what an intimacy coordinator is. We don't, the logistics of, what does an executive producer do versus a director versus, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a talent agent, I remember people would ask me, what's the difference between a manager and an agent? And I would ask people in Hollywood, because I was representing TikTokers, not actors. And I couldn't even get a clear answer from that about such a,
I think an agent gets you booked on individual jobs where a manager just oversees your career. Is that right?
That's so an agent is the one that's wheeling and dealing essentially. And they have to, if you're wheeling and dealing for a actor or a musician, you have to have a talent agency license, which by the way, a bum off the street could get pretty much. You pay $500, I think it was. Anyway, but a manager, I guess, yeah, follows you your career. But I was repping TikTokers, and so it kind of was it didn't matter. We were wheeling deal. You didn't have to have an agency license. But my point is, it's confusing, right? Even the lawyers were I'm not sure how it works for TikTokers, and so imagine somebody picking up the New York Times or seeing the headline, this person, and the New York Times is just, they're so, listen, at the end of the day, we all know that they're sneaky and that they suck, but it's so funny because so many people actually took Blake Lively's side right out of the gate, even people that are big time Johnny Depp people. I remember talking to them and they're
Wow.
I don't know whose side I'm on. And I'm I'm telling you, the something shady's here. And I'm really
Ooh.
glad I spoke up, because it just goes to show that it is a playbook. Because if my spidey senses kind of went on and when it happened to me, it's obviously this is a playbook.
Ooh, so what to you were what were the first signs that something was fishy and that Blake was lying, or what was the first sign of this is not what it seems?
One of her complaints because the New York Times not only wrote the article, but then they attached the complaint. So it was go look at the complaint. We didn't say this. She filed this in court. And basically it was that she said that he hired his best friend to play the OBGYN, and he was didn't need, it could have been played by another actor. And why did this guy, basically saying this guy had no reason to be right near my hoo-ha during this birthing scene of she was giving birth, right? And then so right then I was okay, who was the actor? So I went to IMDb, who played the OBGYN in It Ends With Us. And it's a guy who went to UCLA and has his master's in acting and has a bunch of credits. And so I'm that sounds suspicious. Okay.
He seems qualified.
He seems qualified, to be around your, whatever.
Was she not wearing underpants in this scene?
Okay. So in the complaint, this came out after, but in the complaint, she wrote there was a thin piece of fabric between her genitals and the world. And I called it out. I'm like, okay, but if you're wearing biker shorts on a run and you have underwear on, there's also a thin piece of fabric between. And people
Yes.
were like, no, I don't think that's. Well, it comes out that everything was filmed, because I think that at some point when she started making all these demands, I bet you anything they were like, film everything, make sure, because she's going to say we breathed on her wrong and we're going to get in trouble. Right. So
Wow.
they came out and said, well, she was wearing briefs during that scene, and she was wearing a fake belly and a hospital gown. Excuse me.
Okay, so this isn't like, okay, I need it to be accurate. My cooch and butthole are gonna be out. No, she had like what anybody would give birth in, the same kind of outfit. But actually, way more.
Yeah. And so, and then I remember there was one thing where she was like, he kept talking about, kept bringing up my dead father or something like that. And I'm like, weird, perhaps, but illegal. No, like you can't sue someone because like they're ADHD and blurt whatever they're thinking out. Like
Right.
maybe this guy's weird, but why would you put that in a complaint? It's just like, it's almost like they were grasping at straws just to
Right.
add
Come
stuff
up with
into
something.
this. And then there was another part that said like he like bit her lip. Well, it turns out that like they're showing the footage and he kind of just like rubs up against her neck. But the fact is that people that read the book were saying, well, Ryle, his character, has like an obsession with Lily's neck. I don't know. It's like some weird fan fiction that I would never read. But the funny thing is that this has become like so many women's like, what do they call Roman Empire? That's why it's so fascinating, because there's all these celebrities, right? There's like, she happens to be best friends with Taylor Swift, and then Ryan Reynolds is, and by the way, we just watched that movie, Kyle and I, last night, and we did not get it. Like, we didn't think it was funny. And then there's so many instances where Ryan Reynolds is basically making fun of Justin Baldoni. He made a whole character for his movie.
Oh, right. The man bun guy, right?
And it's like, what were they thinking? Like, did they think this was, obviously they thought this was going to go over well, that everybody was going to jump on board and make fun of this guy. And that's where they're like living in Delulu land, because I don't think people are that cruel,
I also don't think you would know that character was supposed to be Justin. Just from
Somebody
watching
said
the
is ice
movie.
taking
It's
Ari. No, I'm legal. I got my passport. I'm a legal Mexican.
Oh,
Sorry.
right. Oh my God. I forgot you're Mexican.
Yeah, I think I passed the threshold.
You passed very well.
That's funny though. Sorry.
Right, because just in this one of the videos I was watching to get ready for this, it came out. Someone was saying, "Oh, that the character with the bun is supposed to be Justin Baldoni," but I didn't even hear of Justin Baldoni before all this drama popped off. So I definitely wouldn't have known that the bun character in Deadpool Wolverine was supposed to be him.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is like, how long were they planning this? Because obviously he put in those Easter eggs for a reason. Like, would you only do that so that like your close network of friends could like get the inside joke? Or would you do that so you're like, oh yeah, eventually people are going to find out and then they're going to like see this and they're going to think it's hilarious? Well, it's like, that didn't go so well. I mean, it makes them look terrible. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Dreams Lucy says, you've really been making the rounds lately.
Yeah.
Also, this is not a super chat, but I think this is important to note from Simon. Isn't Chrissy's audience mainly men? I doubt many of them know or give a crap about any of this. Here's why men should give a crap about this issue is being able, because men who watch
be accused.
You could be accused by. This is good to know for women that you work with, women you work for, and like women in your life, family members, or like if someone you're dating starts to exhibit these symptoms
of Amber Heard, like,
you gotta protect yourself. I would say mainly like if you work with somebody like this, and this stuff is good to know to protect yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So you get sued. So I don't know. You don't get like a crazy woman. I don't know. Just blindsiding you. This is good to know. He's not
Yeah.
trying to be an ass. He's just curious. I'm highlighting your every comment now, Simon.
No, it's
You're
funny
on my
because
radar.
I even asked ChatGPT because like I use ChatGPT for my business like a bunch, well, bunch of different AIs, but like I always, if I'm doing a video or something, I'll tell it like the audience, and I always tell like, what would make guys care about this? Or
That's
like give me.
so smart. I never think to ever use ChatGPT because I'm
Oh
just
my
like,
gosh. I talk to it more than I talk to like any human out there in the world on a daily basis.
do you think somewhere they're logging all of your ChatGPT entries though, and then using that to
Yeah,
learn more about you?
I have thought about the fact that it's a good thing I'm not like a criminal or ever planning a crime, because I feel like
Yeah.
it would be
Like,
way easier to
how
catch.
would one break out of a jail? Not me, just someone.
Yeah. This is why ChatGPT thinks men should care. If you think this can't happen to you, think again. It doesn't matter if you're a good guy or if you've built your brand on being an ally. If the media decides you're the villain, you're done.
You're done. ChatGPT says there's no way you can come back.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because so basically, this is what I think happened. I think that this guy. Oh, actually, like I did a good analogy the other day. It's like as if imagine that Tom Brady just told Bill Belichick when he was playing, like, oh, because he got like annoyed about his coach like yelling at him, that he was just like, oh, Bill Belichick like brushed me in the hallway, like hurt me, like or like claimed that he did something to him just to get back at him for being like a mean boss, basically. That would never happen. But in this scenario, it seems like Blake Lively was like pissed that he was in charge, he owned the studio, he was her boss, and he was supposed to be the one telling her, this is how you're supposed to act, this is what we're going to do. And then she was like, oh, really? Bet. Like, it's my movie now, bitch. Like, if you don't
Yeah.
do what I say, then I'm going to do a Me Too claim on you, and that's what happened to me too. These influencers that got out of their contracts with me, I mean, they didn't really get out of them. What happened is my business was destroyed. So then they got what they wanted. And there's like a bunch of people in this mess, like the PR agents. There's two competing sides here. And whoever ended up in the New York Times article, that was beneficial to the people that weren't in the article that, are publicists in Hollywood. And now they get to have all the clients because these guys are out of the way. And who knows how many
Wow.
people benefited, including the people that jumped ship and were basically, because people were like, oh, people were unfollowing Baldoni. And it's like, it's so rich to me, the New York Times doing this whole expose on how smear campaigns happen. It's like, please, New York Times, tell me, because you guys are the kings and queens of that.
Wow. And at one point, with her character, Blake just started to like she ignored the wardrobe person. She ended up she decided to she's like, I know better than the wardrobe person who's like a seasoned veteran in the industry. She took it about herself to, make all the wardrobe choices for her character. And then they just kind of like let her keep doing it. And then there was a break. And then I guess she had worked with a lawyer and said, oh, here are whatever it was, 17 stipulations. I won't come back to work unless all of these are met. And both Baldoni and I guess his best friend, who was also an actor, signed off on it because they were like, well, some of these
Oh,
things are not even
it's his partner, his business partner. Yeah.
Jamie, right?
Jamie Heath. Yep.
Jamie Heath. It's also a rumor that Blake is like a legit racist. That's another big rumor that
Really?
I was learning about. Yeah, like that's why she
Oh,
supposedly that's why
there's a
she got
thing.
so upset that like this guy looked
Actually,
her in the eye and he's a
did you
black
see
guy.
that
And I was like, oh
TikTok
my
video
God.
about her
No.
saying she did blackface? Oh my gosh.
As soon as you say, did you see the TikTok? My answer is no. Just know that that is no matter what it is. I don't have TikTok. And now that isn't Trump deleting it? No, he brought it back.
I don't know. I think it's still gonna go. It's not gonna be the same because Congress and the Supreme Court said that they have to leave the algorithm in China. And that's like saying, that's the secret sauce. So if they take away the secret sauce, I don't know if it's gonna be the same. Instagram has been trying to build the secret sauce, or steal it for 5 years, and they haven't been able to. So, but people still use it because people will be like, "Well, this is all we have. We don't have a choice." This we got.
Yeah.
This is the algorithm we got. But yeah, I'll try to find that clip. It's pretty funny. It's basically she's saying that she's a kid. I mean, she's young, so you got to take that with a grain of salt, but she's basically saying like, yeah, I used to, I stole somebody's, or I borrowed my friend's, what'd she say? She used a wig like Scary Spice and
Yep.
then painted her face black.
Put a lot of bronzer on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Funny.
How did Blake like come to be like this? Is this just what happens when you're a certain level of fame and success and rich and like people you just have a bunch of yes people around you?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, probably a lot of yes, but I think it's like her and Ryan are probably like, I mean, probably a lot of people in Hollywood are narcissists, but they are like the special type of narcissist that is like very manipulative and mean, and cruel to, like, they get off on this power trip and like being mean to other people. I think there's a difference between like somebody who fancies themselves and someone who's like a legit sociopath that manipulates everybody around them. I mean, but the if you watch anything about like psychologists and everything on YouTube that talk about narcissism, they say like the worst thing you could do to a narcissist is expose them. So I don't know. They must be having a massive meltdown. And
Ooh.
today they posted, I think it was today, they posted about, or I guess Ryan Reynolds posted on his story, like a picture of him and Blake in New York. And then this journalist, she's like, I have inside information that Blake is actually in the Bahamas right now. So why are they posting that? I mean, to make it look like everything's fine.
Whoa. What, they're not allowed to go to the Bahamas? I mean, they're celebrities, they're on vacation all
No,
the
but
time,
he's
aren't they?
posting like, and there's all these articles being like, oh, they're together in New York, everything's fine. Like, she's not stressed about all this bad press. You think she's
Oh.
not stressed about the fact that people are calling her the next Amber Heard?
Oh my god, she is though. Wow.
Yeah.
She just the more I learn, the more horrible she sounds.
I love like the F around and find out like that whole thing is coming true. And now it's getting harder and harder for the media to gatekeep reality from the public. It's like people can think for themselves, and it's infuriating to these nepo babies and the fake journalists. They think, oh, well, the Me Too journalist Megan Twohey wrote the story, so it must be damning, it must be true. And I think people are starting to open their eyes. Although, a lot of people are just focusing on Blake and Ryan. They don't realize how much the New York Times plays into it, because it's very different to get a hit piece written about you in the Daily Mail and have one in the New York Times. If you have something in the New York Times, that is like pretty much cements your future, unless you fight back, which, like, for most normal people, it's almost impossible. But Baldoni has this guy, Steve Sarowitz, who is he's part of the lawsuit as well. And I'm assuming he's funding it. And he has said in prior interviews that he was going to spend his vast wealth before he turns 70, I think, which is like billions of dollars. And this was going to be on like things that help humanity. Well, now I think Steve Sarowitz has a cause, and that is cancel culture. I'm like, let's go, Steve. I'm here
Wow.
for it.
Or just cancel Blake Lively specifically.
Yeah. And the New York Times.
Is she a nepo baby?
I think so. Yeah. I think
makes
her
sense.
family was like in Hollywood or something. I don't know. I don't even like, she didn't even like come across my radar. And I think if she would have just let it all fizzle out, because I think she was pissed because she was getting bad press. And somehow they thought this was going to turn it around.
She really was convinced that her movie Ends With Us and Deadpool Wolverine were going to be like the next Barbenheimer. And it was like not even close. Like, I didn't even hear about this movie till I just kicked my camera, till all this lawsuit stuff came out, all the drama.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because Like, my boyfriend doesn't care about this stuff either, but ever since he heard me, like, talking about it, he's like, "I don't really like Ryan Reynolds anymore." He's like, "That's kinda
Oh,
like
it's
it's
that's what
kinda it's like, why?"
Frank was
Like,
saying. It's very disappointing because, well, he's beloved. He's a very funny actor.
yeah, it just kind of like but now I think because I watched Deadpool, I loved, like, the first Deadpool and I think the second one or whatever it was, but I don't know, it was weird watching it. It also because I didn't get what was going on half of it, so I haven't been following all the Marvel movies or whatever,
Mhm.
but it was just kind of gave me the ick, like, I didn't wanna continue watching it. It's like anybody that does Taylor Lorenz level crap is basically what they're it's what they did too, and Amber
Yep.
Heard, like, they're all in that same bucket of why be so cruel? Like, okay, it's fine if you don't like somebody but you're obviously way more powerful than more
Mhm.
popular. Like, get
Just
over
seems like a
yourselves.
flex, like an like, maybe she didn't like him, and then it just escalated into, like a battle of the egos and, with
And there was so
narcissists,
many
right?
people, like, there like I said, there's they include in the New York Times article, they say, like, "Oh, Melissa Nathan, the publicist for Baldoni, she's funded by Scooter Braun." Anybody that follows Taylor Swift knows that Taylor Swifties hate Scooter Braun because he, like, stole her rights away or something, and she had to do Taylor's version. Anyway, that was like a dog whistle to anybody that, likes Taylor Swift. They're like, "Oh, Scooter Braun funded this other PR." But they don't the New York Times fails to mention that, Leslie Sloan, the publicist for, Blake Lively, was funded by Harvey Weinstein. They leave that
Woohoo!
out. They leave that out of
Well,
the
because it doesn't sound very good, Ari, does
no, it
it?
doesn't sound good, but if you're gonna include one, I mean, imagine being like a intern over there, like, you're an aspiring writer and you're like, "Should we say that, Harvey Weinstein?" Of course, they're not gonna say that because, like, somebody look at you like, "Are you crazy?" Well, you don't tell the
Yeah.
truth here. It's the New York Times.
Blake's dad was an actor, her mom was a talent scout. Okay, yes, very much an industry baby. Let me pull this, here up. Thank you, Fealty. Fealty is the most helpful back end man. Ernie Lively, 1947. Wow, died in 2021.
So that's why she was mad or something that somebody mentioned
Yeah.
her dad. Again,
Yeah,
not
he was
illegal.
74. Yeah, maybe he, maybe this is jab related. This is died in June of 2021. Who knows? But I can definitely see the resemblance.
Oh,
Mm.
here, I'll send you the part where she talks about blackface. It's queued up if you wanna play that.
Wow, he was in Stop and My Mom Will Shoot, and the
What
Sisterhood of the
movie is that? Oh, she was
Sisterhood
in
of Traveling
Sisterhood, I
Pants.
heard.
Wow,
And
so
people are
they were
saying that
both
she
in it?
hooked up with a lot of her co-stars. So maybe
Oh,
maybe Ryan was a little nervous. I mean, Baldoni does have
wow.
kind of a sexy voice. We all know that now because his lawyer put out the tape.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was like, I was watching all those videos and I was like, "Okay." I was like, I could understand some moisture forming. Um,
I mean,
this
again, this blackface, I don't care that she says this, but it is, like, funny, like, if you are gonna do something so brazen, like, you better like, hope that you don't have you better make sure you wipe the internet of anything nefarious you've ever done if you're gonna, go after somebody.
all about Blake Lively's parents, Ernie and Elaine. Ernie and Elaine. Wow, she really looks like, oh, wait a second. That's
Whoa.
Elaine? Her mom looks like a dude. It's amazing how attractive Blake Lively came out to be considering her mom looks like this.
Yeah, I think she's got I do how I do, like, social media for businesses? I have a plastic surgeon, and we're gonna do one on what all she got done because I think she got a nose job, Blake Lively got a nose job, got upper and lower blepharoplasty, which is, like, eyelid surgery, a
Wow.
bunch
Yeah,
of
because
other
look at
stuff.
her parents' eyelids. It's like droop central. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, oh my god. Her mother looks like Tom Petty. So let me get to the point. Let's roll. All right, Blake Lively's acting talent runs in the family. Ernie and Elaine spent their careers in Hollywood. Her father's an actor and director. Mother is an actor and talent manager, including Blake. The couple share 5 children, all who have worked in the entertainment industry. I'm not shocked. As a child, Blake didn't have any interest in an acting career, but it was somewhat inescapable due to her parents' and siblings' professions. I've grown up on sets, she said in a 2006 interview with Radio Free Entertainment. Mom is a manager, always has kids come in for coaching. My family's always going over lines for an audition. I'm always stealing craft service, so it was part of my life. Never felt a desire for it, and it seemed like a nightmare. Wow.
What movie was she in with Ryan Reynolds that they got together? Because like I guess he cheated on. Did he cheat on Scarlett Johansson with her?
Yes, he left ScarJo for her.
Damn.
Wow.
I think that like I don't know. I feel like Scarlett Johansson is like a lot of my ex-boyfriends like hall pass. Like
yeah, she's
she's
everyone's
pretty
hall
hot.
pass.
I know. I'm like she'd be my
And
hall
the
pass too.
fact that she went for Colin Jost makes her even more likable, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Let's see if it mentions Maul. He was in Hellbillies. They had 5 kids together. Oh, this is another lively sibling. He's not bad looking.
Oh no.
Maybe they've all had work done. Let's see.
I don't think I even saw Green Lantern. That's what he was in with Blake Lively.
I guess so. Ernie died in 2021. Cardiac complications. That's jab related, boys and girls. Wow, that sucks. But that's the industry. They probably made everybody get it.
You're gonna have to teach me later how to do this circle thing. I have StreamYard too, and I can't figure out how to do circles.
It's the circles are all the rage now.
Yeah, I know. I need to figure out how to do them.
Gotta put yourself in a
I
bubble.
have like extra pro freaking expensive dollars a month StreamYard too, and I don't know how to do it.
Elaine gives Blake beauty advice, but Elaine, you haven't had any work done. Maybe she has. Who knows? Okay, they love Ryan. Okay, that just proves the point of Justin Baldoni's mom's pen supportive message. Oh boy. What a mess. Who is on the side of Justin? Anybody?
In the
Other than
chat?
you, of course.
Wait, what?
Who like celebrity wise that you know of? Who is on Justin's side?
Nobody's come out. I mean, it's Hollywood. So this is what happens in Hollywood. If somebody makes a Me Too claim, if somebody's, is alleged of saying something racist, I mean, look what happened to Roseanne. It's like anything. They basically, everybody, even if they agree that you didn't do anything wrong, if they speak out, then they lose stuff too. Like if somebody's alleged to be Me Too in Hollywood because it's so woke over there, everybody has to jump on board on the side, the safe side, Nobody's going to speak out publicly. I bet you there's people behind the scenes. But yeah, I haven't seen any actors speak out in his favor.
Her complaint, which was followed by a formal lawsuit in New York on December 31st, Lively alleges that Baldoni and Heath's behavior on set, followed by an alleged smear campaign, caused her grief, fear, trauma, and extreme anxiety. Per the filing. That's it. Wow. Must be nice. Like Baldoni inserted improvised gratuitous sexual content and or scenes involving nudity in the film in highly unsettling ways. But they're also I was listening to another video that said like she was making a ton of changes to the script.
Yeah, and
So
then
I haven't liked something.
Yeah, I mean the other thing too is they're saying, I haven't read it all, but the updated complaint. I mean, this is the Friedman guy. He's like the Punisher of all lawyers. I actually went up against him in LA when I sued UTA or UTI, like you like to call it. But he beat us because there was like some loophole that he found, and my lawyer's like, I have actually never seen that before, and I can't believe like he got away with that, and that's how they dismissed the case. But obviously he's good, but he's going, balls deep in this and just basically putting out every text message because they don't care. I don't even think they care if they win the lawsuits. They just want to absolutely destroy her because she's a liar. She's a liar and a bully, and she deserves to be exposed. I mean, that's what's coming through. Maybe he's a little weird. Maybe he rubbed her the wrong way. I don't think there's smoking gun. Otherwise, we would have seen it already. And the New York Times would have most certainly already put that in their article. The thing about the New York Times is that like they will find every dirty thing about you before they post it. So once it goes out, it's like, that's why I'm, not that I'm not afraid of getting canceled again, but it's like, they literally, that's the worst they could put out there. I remember talking to some friends and they're like, well, it wasn't like that bad. I mean, like I was expecting something worse, maybe, like, gee, thanks. But they're like, if that's the worst that somebody could say about you, then it's like still not that bad. And I think like that's the case with him. It's like, well, there's a lot more skeletons in the closet that are coming out from Blake Lively.
Oh, Johan says Baldoni is a male feminist. Don't be surprised if he is a bad guy in the long run, if not here. Oh,
but see,
Baldoni
that's how the New York Times does.
Yeah.
They know that people will hate a male feminist, So
Yeah.
it's like they're gonna do that. They're gonna say that because they know, just like they know that most people would hate like a TikTok agent, like what
Yes.
the hell is a TikTok agent? How is that a job? Why
Right.
is someone making money off of
People
TikTokers?
go, I'm angry that this is a job.
Yes, and they were like, I remember like when I went on Tucker Carlson, some of the comments on the YouTube video was like, why is TikTok agent even a job? I don't even feel sorry for that. I don't even care because that's her job, But but at the end of the day, it's like guys should be rejoicing that women are so sort of being like the citizen journalists of this story, because like God forbid this happens to somebody that's not as powerful, doesn't have a billionaire backer and something. At least now you have a shot to make it out alive, because there's these sleuths online that if you can get your sort of story in front of the right people on the Chrissie Mayr show, then maybe you have a shot of survival.
If you're listening, Justin, I'll hear you out.
Plus, it's like watching a controlled demolition of a guy's career in real time. And they had this story locked and loaded before the lawsuit was even filed. So people should also be aware that, like, hello, this is not journalism. This is a hit. And the New York Times isn't reporting news. I know a lot of people already know that, especially your audience. But this is actually going to, I think, make it put a spotlight on them, that they're curating the narratives, that they're picking a villain, just like they can pick a hero. And they can craft a whole story about these, the decision about why they made, why it's so wrong, whatever he did. We still don't know what he did. What he like brushed up on her neck in a romance movie? Like,
and I think they knew that she may get litigious or just, this is what you do when you're dealing with a See You Next Tuesday. They filmed everything. They filmed, I guess they let the camera roll basically all the time, because there was this sense like,
I think so.
She's very touchy. Who knows what she'll complain about in the future?
When I got with that those influencers were talking to the New York Times, it was so weird. I remember one of the kids, I call them kids, and I need to stop because they were like 23 years old. But because it may sound worse if people are like, oh, they're kids,
They're still kids.
But in my mind, they're mentally kids. But I remember they were like, come over to the house. And I'm like, were you guys trying to like film? Like, I felt they were trying to trap me into doing something. And I'm like, no, I can meet you guys in a public setting. And they were like, why don't you come over to the house? I'm like, why do you want me to come over to the house, you freaks? Like, I don't know. So at that point, you're like walking on eggshells. And also, you also become a little bit paranoid when this is happening to you, because you're just like, oh my gosh, did I say the wrong thing? And you can't even be yourself. So I can only imagine. And you see his interviews afterwards, and he's so kind. Like, I'm not a nice person like that. Like, if you went through my text and searched Taylor Lorenz, like, you wouldn't find very nice quotes in there. But he's talking about how he was like relegated to the basement, and he's like, it's okay, guys. Like, I'm here with the people I love, doing the work I love. I'm like, who is this guy?
Yeah, what was the basement story? Was that
At
where
the
they had to go during an awards show?
No, it was during the premiere of his movie. They didn't let him be where the other cast was, be where Blake Lively was. He had to wait in the basement for her to leave, I think, before he could come out.
Wow. This is this is an interesting part. Hold on. This I've read this so many times. This was another part of her beef that this man came in, that the best friend came in. Oh, Baldoni was invited into Lively's trailer while she was breastfeeding, attaching a screenshot of an alleged conversation. I'm just which is not pumping, is not breastfeeding. It's like you're pumping into containers. You know what I mean? Like you can cover
Mhm.
your nips up. You don't have to be topless.
Oh,
So
yeah. Yeah, and then it's like they're like, "Oh, he was walked into her trailer, she was breastfeeding." Like, how many people in Hollywood have you seen with, like, their whole boob out being like, "Selfie," or like,
mhm.
like, I don't know. It's just there wasn't a very damning thing in the article to me. It was like, "Oh, he looked at her, like, sideways while she was, pumping." I couldn't pick out anything. So
Oh, that she had a problem with that he got eye contact with her.
yeah, yeah.
Their eyes met, which people have used in the, "she's really racist" argument, like, well, back in the day, slaves could not have eye contact with the white woman, so, like,
Oh
oh,
my
wow.
god.
In her complete lively detailed the situation in which Heath, this is the best friend of Jason, allegedly showed her a video of his wife giving birth to their child. First of all, who's videotaping? Who's recording their wife giving birth? Like, who has the presence of mind to be like, "Oh, I'll just take a little video here."
Well,
Sharing that she thought he was showing her porn and stopped him. Baldoni's complaint, meanwhile, called the video a deeply personal one with no sexual overtone. Because she's working on a scene where she's giving birth, so maybe he figured it'd be helpful.
someone asks if you're pumping right now.
No, I'm not.
That's
I do
funny.
often pump on streams, but, I don't know. I'm gonna try
Are you
not
gonna
to as
sue
much.
everybody for
I'm
looking
gonna
at you
I'm gonna try
directly?
not to pump as much on streams because it is distracting and, like, I've missed a couple things while pumping on stream, so I'm gonna not do it for now.
I hope Gen Z, like, picks up the whole unfollow the New York Times. Like, it would be so great to have a whole generation of young people that are like, "Oh, yeah, we don't follow that rag." Like, I just think
Mhm.
you
I
know what I
think
mean?
so.
Because, I mean, I talked about this before too. It's just, like, the worst thing about the New York Times is that their search engine, like, juice. Like, so on Google,
Okay.
if they write about you and they write something bad, like for the rest of time, if somebody Googles your name, like it's going to come up first. And it doesn't sound, it might not bother some people, but if it happens to you, it does. Cause you think about it all the time. You're like, oh, like, what if I have a new job opportunity? Or if I meet someone, like when I was dating, I was like, gosh, if anybody,
Mhm.
and I know it was like in my head a lot, but it is kind of like it cements who you are. And so they shouldn't have
Ugh,
that power. I hope that, let's say 10 years from now, that they get outranked by,
yes.
you get what I'm saying?
I don't think anybody under 35, takes the New York Times as seriously as those that are older. Like, I remember when I was in college, like, you had to read the New York Times every day. It was like but I also went to, like, a liberal school that was like, "Oh, New York Times, oh my god." My art history professor was basically like, "If you don't read the New York Times every day, like, you're trash." And, I just don't think Gen Z takes it as seriously.
I mean, the TikTokers that uh spoke to Taylor Lorenz in my situation, like it was so funny because some of them I know they just wanted to be verified, and then it was kind of like hilarious because like about a year after, then you could just pay for verification. But it was like if you wanted to get verified, you had to have media credit, like even for Twitter too. You had to have your name in a mainstream newspaper like the New York Times or whatever, and that would get you verified. And that's like dangling a little carrot on a stick, and saying, "Oh, look, if you do this," but that doesn't exist anymore. So they don't care about being in the New York Times. And to be honest with you, I don't think that the New York Times, there used to be this thing, like if you got a publicist, they could get you, positive stories. I don't really think, like most PR people, it's hard for them to get just like a puff piece written about a business owner, especially if you're, you know what I mean, doing something that, I don't know. Maybe if you're in entertainment and stuff like that, but it's just, that's what you used to do in a business, is like you'd hire PR and then they'd come and review your muffin store, whatever the heck you're selling. And you could be in the paper, for having this business. But now most of the time, if they're coming to interview you, like they're coming to see if they can get, especially like in tech and things like that, they want to say something negative about you. So people are realizing today that you could just have a Twitter account, you could have an Instagram account, and it'd be the same thing. It's better than having an article in the New York Times.
That's a really good point. Yeah, it's part of the old guard. It's part of the MSM.
Yeah, but they are so powerful. Like that's the one thing, is that they have, like I saw Candace Owens was trying to connect Ronan Farrow because he's friends with Taylor Swift. So Ronan Farrow is another Nepo baby journalist, and he was also part of the Me Too expose, but he wrote for the New Yorker, and Candace Owens was like, oh, he's friends with Taylor Swift. I bet he teed up like the article for Megan Twohey, because they worked together on their articles for the Me Too movement. And honestly, I was like, that's an interesting connection, because I could see if they're like, hey, we need to get a hold of somebody at the New York Times, like, but any publicist could get a hold of the New York Times. But the thing is, like, I could see the connection, but it was really funny because when Candace said that, Ronan Farrow commented on somebody's comment and was like, yeah, no, I only would cover like a real Me Too case. So it was like a slight dig at the other reporter. So, but I don't think anybody wants to be on the wrong side of this now. Now that all the TikTok mob is Team Justin Baldoni, I think even the celebrities, I think even Taylor Swift came out and was like, I'm taking a break from Blake Lively.
Oh God. And you know what? The interview videos from Blake over the years really don't help her case, because I have not seen a video of Blake Lively doing an interview where she is not being a cunt, basically. I haven't seen her do a good interview. So here are the key players.
Oh, that's a cool one.
Obviously, this is a flow chart. Blake and Justin. Blake is the star of It Ends With Us, suing Baldoni, alleging he has sexually harassed her and retaliated against her by trying to destroy her reputation. Girl, you did that yourself. Justin Baldoni, director and co-star, denies allegations and plans countersuits, claiming Lively wanted to control the movie and is trying to smear him. Yeah, that's pretty obvious to see. Behind the scenes, Ryan Reynolds is Lively's husband, supporter at an all-hands set meeting. Oh, yeah, he was on set for the movie, which I feel like is inappropriate. And I think actually there was a scene, I believe, where Ryan just rewrote the whole thing. I think it was a scene on a roof, and I guess they didn't know till they were shooting that he had completely rewritten it.
This reminds me, so this guy, Steve Sarowitz, he's the backer of the billionaire. He's backing Baldoni. They said he came by to set that day that she was doing the birthing scene. So it made it sound like really creepy. That's another thing that I noticed right off the bat. I'm like, oh, so you're telling me the guy that owns the studio came by the studio and that makes him creepy? Like, F off.
Mhm.
Who are you? Like, that
Yeah.
pissed me off, because that's what they did to me too. Oh, she used to bring she would bring people to the TikTok house anytime she wanted. Yeah, it was my house. I was paying for it. I can come by anytime I want. What are we talking about?
Why would that be a problem?
Because they wanted to make me the villain, so they just write it. But I'm like, people need to learn to read. Like, read the article better, read between the lines. Like, and that's how they get away with not losing these defamation cases, because they tell you, they tell the judge, well, that wasn't defamatory. We just said she came by at all hours. Yeah, but it sounds bad, but it's not actually false. It's true. I did come by if they were jumping off the rooftop into the pool and somebody called me and it was 2 a.m. and they're like, Ari, they're drinking and jumping into the pool, I'm going to go over to the house and make sure no one dies. Okay. But the
Yeah.
parents think that's bad because I came over at 2 a.m. and I'm a psychopath.
Wow. Okay, so then there's Brian. Right. He kind of meddled in the movie. Colleen Hoover, the author that sold Baldoni the rights to her bestseller. Now
She
she
deleted her
backs.
Instagram.
Really? She
People
backs
are pissed at
Lively
her.
as nothing but honest, kind, and supportive. What? Because backlash for backing Lively.
Yeah.
Ooh. Jamie Heath, Lively accused Baldoni's producing partner of repeated sexual harassment and disturbing behavior, which he disputes. Steve Sarowitz, Lively claiming the billionaire backing Baldoni's company Wayfair is prepared to spend $100 million to bring her down. That's nice. Co-stars Jenny Slate, the star who played Baldoni's sister, sided with Lively. I admire her bravery. I stand by her side. Jenny's a YouTuber. She doesn't have scruples. Brandon Skellner, he slammed those vilifying the film's women. Later, he urged people to read Lively's complaint. Isabella Ferrer, Lively claims Baldoni told Ferrer the scene where she loses her virginity was hot. She hasn't commented. Hassan Minaj, comedian, said he was unaware of any issues on set. He presented a since rescinded award to Baldoni in December for advocating for women. They took away his award? Oh, darn. And then publicist, Leslie Sloan, Baldoni's claims Lively's rep launched a negative press push against him. She says she didn't plant stories. Of course, she'll say that. Stephanie Jones is Abel's former boss, is now suing her. Her PR firm provided Abel's text when subpoenas.
Ooh, nobody has a picture of Melissa Nathan. That's pretty wild.
Yeah. That is strange.
Yeah. Imagine that. Imagine not. I'm like, too bad I was on MySpace. And if anybody broke into my MySpace, it's probably like drunken pictures of me, like
Oh my
at
God, yeah.
San Diego State.
She must be.
I don't know where they are.
She must be very old.
You think?
Yeah, she must be so old and she just skipped over the social media era. But
No,
like,
but
how could there not be on a
she's
on a
the one
website?
she's the one that supposedly helped Johnny Depp with all his social media, like with the whole justice for Johnny Depp stuff. I wonder.
Interesting. She's a crisis PR expert hired by Baldoni.
Melissa Nathan is 37. That's what they said.
Oh,
Oh,
never
no.
mind.
Oh, wait. No, never mind. This is another person who died. My bad.
She's a crisis PR expert hired by Baldoni, allegedly texted, we can't bury anyone. She says messages were altered and out of context. Jennifer Abel, Baldoni's PR rep, wrote, there was no smear implemented, though it's our job to be ready for any scenario. Celebrity mentions Taylor Swift. Lively alleges Baldoni's reps brought up her pal as they considered planting stories about the weaponization of feminism.
They didn't put Harvey Weinstein in there.
Yeah. Hailey Bieber, this is what we would need. Baldoni allegedly texted his PR team, pointing to a social media post calling Bieber a bully. Scooter Braun, the music exec who has battled Swift, is reportedly a major stakeholder in the companies behind Nathan's crisis PR firm. Interesting. I didn't know Hailey Bieber was involved. It's kind of interesting because Blake Lively's eyes are a little too far apart, but Ryan Reynolds' eyes are a little too close together. So it's going to even out for the kids. Yes, of course he's a male feminist. He's wearing a pink suit with a brooch. Wow. Wow. Is his fly open? Oh, it's a button. Never mind. It's a button fly. Brian Reynolds was immediately embroiled in the speculation around the film's press tour after the actors revealed in August, right, he had written a scene for the movie. What a mess! What a mess this is, Ari. What do you see as the conclusion to this?
I mean, one thing I know for sure is PR people, like, I don't care whose side they're on, PR people are cutthroat. And I don't like, especially the bitchy girl ones. Like, most of them are girls and most of them are bitchy and most of them, like, don't like other women. And they scare me. Like I would stay far in Hollywood. If I ever went back, I would try to stay far away from the
They're not
PR
all
women.
bad.
They all
Yeah.
scare. No, I mean, they're not all bad, but they all scare me. Like the real ones, like the good ones, like they
Yeah,
scare.
yeah, the big
They
ones.
really scare me. They're like, yeah, they're mean. Usually they're mean girls. Well, it's like what's that movie? Where what was that movie that where the girl was like an intern for the Vogue magazine lady and
Oh my god, that's one of my all-time favorite movies.
yeah, so I think they're like
Devil
that.
Wears Prada.
Devil Wears Prada. I think like
Mhm.
the good ones are like that lady that owned the magazine. They're just, like you're like everybody's a peon to
Yeah.
them.
What are you talking
And they
about?
can
Everybody
destroy
wants
you.
this.
Yeah,
Like,
everybody wants this.
where are the belts? Why is no one ready?
Yes,
Or
I gotta
like,
rewatch that movie. That's a good
oh
one.
god, it's one of my favorite movies. Like no, by all means, move at a glacial pace. That's what I say all the time. By all
Like if
means,
somebody
move at a
was like,
glacial.
how are PR people? I would just show them her. I'm like, that's my impression of them.
He
And
looks like a PR person.
So Stephanie Jones is married to like a top guy at WME, that talent. Oh, also talent
Oh,
agents scare me, but they're more slimy. They're not like
yeah.
people I would be. They are scary, but they're more just like they give me the ick. Talent agents. Like I would never marry
Yeah.
a man talent agent. Sorry. So I'm not
Wow.
discriminating a whole job, but I am in a way.
Melissa Nathan. Oh, it says we can bury anyone. Nathan wrote to Abel in a
She
text.
said we can bury, like, I guess that Blake was basically giving them, they were worried that Blake was gonna do what she did and like say something false about Baldoni. And so um apparently they were talking to each other on a text and they were like, look at all these texts or look at all these articles that are coming out. And she's like, did you do this? And she's like, no, I didn't do it, but it's making it look like I did it. I mean, they're kind of patting each other on the back, like, look, we're getting paid
Mhm.
and we don't even have to like really do any of this work. She's doing it to
Wow.
herself. And then I guess one of them was like, yeah, we can bury anyone if we can bury anyone if we wanted to. And it's like, of course,
Wow.
that's how they
Yeah.
talk. Does anybody remember that show? Olivia Pope was that the character Olivia Pope, and she was like dating the president. It was like a black girl, I forget. But anyway, it was basically this show Scandal where she was dating the president and she was kind of a behind the scenes like PR person. And that's what PR people kind of how they look at themselves. Like we can flip any story, we can change the narrative, we can bury anyone. That to me is like standard how PR people operate and what they think of themselves. So if they were
Well, it's
talking
like
to each other,
they've got a certain set of skills, and those skills can be used for good or evil, right?
yeah.
They go either way.
But it's not nefarious to have a publicist that buries stories or posts or tells the media to put a bad one about their enemies. Like that's just how Hollywood operates. And if you want to play in that world, well, you have to sleep in the mud with the other pigs. You're gonna get dirty.
Simon House says Blake is Amber Heard 2.0. She'll be going to Spain. Is that where Amber is?
Yeah, with Elon's baby, I heard.
Oh yeah, I heard about Elon's baby too.
There's probably so many Elon babies that we don't know about.
I imagine Spain is just full of Elon's baby mamas. Like, they each have their own little house and a villa somewhere.
Yeah, that's true.
You can visit them all at one
I hear he
time.
passes out those baby cards like it's nobody. Like that's how he like introduces himself.
If I
On
was
Twitter,
a
probably.
young single woman in Elon's path, yeah, I would just be like, I'd be trying to get him to trip over my vag. Are you kidding
Oh
me?
my God,
Getting
no,
knocked up
not
by
me.
Elon, that's a one-way ticket to you're
Not me.
set.
No, thank you. Dude, one time, I'm telling you, like, I can't find the message. I don't know if it got like deleted or what, but like 10, maybe, no, it was longer than 10 years ago. It was like 15 or 18 years ago. I was friends with Justine Musk on Facebook. And at the time,
Ooh.
I was, um, I was dating this guy that was like a billionaire, and I think we broke up, and I was like, this guy was like a sociopath. I don't know if I don't remember how we got in touch, but I was talking to her behind the scenes being like, yeah, I like, this was really scary. And she said something to me about like how something about having dinner with Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, and I don't remember if it was Elon or Jeff, but she said, yeah, this person has about the same empathy as a serial killer. I'm like, well, that's good to know. I don't want to have a baby with somebody that has,
Oh.
that has that little empathy.
So what,
And
Elon doesn't
I
or
don't remember.
Bezos?
It was so long ago, but I'm like, I remember that line of like, so it was either Elon Musk or Bezos, but
Okay.
also she's had a TED Talk where she talks about how when she had a miscarriage, I think she was like still grieving it like 6 weeks in, and basically Elon came in and was like, "If you don't get over this, like now, like get out of my face, like we'll get
Oh,
divorced tomorrow." And it's like,
wow.
dude,
Yeah.
relax. So I don't think he's like,
I think with Elon, like
I don't
his
want to.
genius is very much focused in a particular area that there's like no brain left over for anything
He's
else.
very smart, and obviously they're saying he's on the spectrum.
You
Uh,
have to be. You have to be. And again, when you have your
yeah.
autistic superpowers, you can use them for good or evil.
Mhm. But the worst thing would be like an autistic, because autistic people, they don't wish harm on other people. Like they don't. But
Unless you piss them off. No.
maybe, yeah, because well, but narcissists and sociopaths, like they actually get off on it. Like it's like,
Yeah, they enjoy it.
this is, yeah,
It's fun for them.
yeah, it's a
Yes,
little scary.
we've all dated one, haven't
I
we?
just don't think I'd want to be in any type of obviously if you have a baby with a billionaire, it's like whatever they say goes. Like people are like, "Oh yeah, they're gonna give you
Right.
money." If they get mad at you, they're gonna take the money away. I don't know. Like it just,
I don't know
I don't
if
wanna.
you're their mother to their kid, um, I
But
think
then,
as
like, what are
long
you
as
gonna
you
tell
don't.
your kid? Like, "Yeah, I just had a baby by Elon so that I could
I mean,
not."
things it really could be worse. Like your whole life is paid for, like the kid's probably set for life. Um,
I think he took one of his baby mamas to court and said he, like, didn't wanna pay her more than a certain amount of money. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. All I'm saying is I'm good on the Elon baby.
yeah.
That's
No,
for someone else.
I don't wanna have an
A
Elon
path.
baby right now. I'm just saying, if I could turn back time. No, kidding, I'm kidding. Uh, I just think he's a kooky, eccentric millionaire, and I like that he just, I don't know.
Listen, I wanna get in touch with Steve Sarowitz, because now that his whole, like, his thing is, like, cancel culture, I'm like, "Can you fund my book, my movie about my story? Like, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go all in on the telling the stories of cancel culture, and especially the New York Times." But who knows? Like, I talked to my friend who's, like, a high up exec at Disney, and I told him my plan, and he's like, "Honestly, it's not a bad idea. Weirder things have happened." He's like,
Do it.
"If this guy is all about, exposing cancel culture, and he has a production studio, he's a billionaire, and he wants to spend all his money
Yes.
on, exposing these terrible things that happen, like go for it." I'm like, "Okay." All my YouTube videos, I'm like, "Steve Sarowitz, if you're watching."
Let's tag him on this. Steve, I have stories.
Steve.
I have stories of my time in corporate media. Um,
Oh, I bet you do.
oh yeah. Oh my gosh. So, do you think Justin is going to be okay? Is he going to have a career after this? Is he going to What do you think? And what do you think is going to happen for Blake?
I don't listen. Hollywood is so woke that it's like there's people that have already crucified him that are not going. Like, there's this girl I actually really like. Her name's Claudia Oshry. She does The Toast. It's like a millennial kind of funny podcast with her sister, and she got canceled by Taylor Lorenz too. And I saw her like defending Baldoni. This was right when everything came out, And she was saying like, oh, he hired an intimacy coordinator like afterwards. And she got the things wrong. Like she got the story wrong because it's so easy to follow the wrong path when you're listening to the New York or when you're reading the New York Times. But now, even now, she's like, like, I'm not going to talk about it because I'm going to get canceled if I say I'm not on Baldoni's side, but I just don't like him anymore. And that's the thing that sucks when this type of thing happens to you, is that some people are just going to have the notion of like, I just don't like you anymore. And that's so how is it going to play out in Hollywood? I don't know, because I think even though Johnny Depp won his case, you don't see him like, he's not headlining the Pirates of the Caribbean again. Like he's just out there living his life. But Baldoni is much younger than Johnny Depp. And also everything is getting played out so much faster. Like with when Johnny Depp happened, he got canceled for, I think, 6 years before he got to go to court,
right?
So Baldoni, I mean, I think that they had to do a Hail Mary and then they had the money to back it. So, but there's a lot of people that lost their livelihoods out of this. Like I'm sure the publicists, nobody wants to be repped by them right now, like on probably now though, on anybody's side. Like, I don't know if I want to be on, definitely not Stephanie Jones. Cause did you hear about how she got the text messages?
No.
So the text messages that they put in the article, they got nefariously. Well, they say, okay, this is what Baldoni's side alleges, is that Jennifer Abel worked for Stephanie Jones. Stephanie Jones was unhinged and losing clients, and she wasn't even working on the Baldoni case or the Baldoni, campaign or whatever they were doing. And then all of a sudden, she thought she was losing all these clients, and then she was about to get fired by Baldoni because Jennifer Abel wanted to leave and start her own thing. And so she fires Jennifer Abel, brings her into the office, as she knows she gets wind that Jennifer was planning stories about her, negative stories, and that she was going to go do her own thing. So they get her iPhone, which had like, all her personal text messages. And instead of just like locking her out of the email, they take her phone. They tell, the lawyer basically says, forces her to sign whatever. And like, I guess that way that that was obtained was illegal. She goes to like the T-Mobile store or whatever, and she's like waiting for them to release her phone number so that she can like get a new phone and put her stuff on there, and they won't release it. And I don't know if they ever did, or I think she did get it later, but I mean, that's pretty cutthroat. So Stephanie Jones is a psychopath, in my opinion.
Held her phone hostage then.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I get it. It sucks if like an employee steals your clients and does like that, but that unhinged behavior is not a good look. And imagine and Baldoni was Stephanie Jones's former client. So why would anybody ever want her as their publicist again? It's like, oh, you're going to get mad at me and then destroy my life? Because Blake Lively wouldn't have those text messages if Stephanie Jones hadn't given it to her. It's like they filed a subpoena, but they knew to file it because Stephanie Jones is like, I got the goods. And in the New York Times article, they leave Stephanie Jones out of the message. You know what I mean? Like, who knows what she was saying, but they don't use her text messages.
Wow. Okay. So they said, we plan to release every single text message between the two of them. Friedman previously said of Baldoni's plans to sue, we want the truth to be out there. We want the documents to be out there. We want people to make their determination based on receipts. This lawsuit is a legal action based on an overwhelming amount of untampered evidence detailing Blake Lively and her team's duplicitous attempt to destroy Justin Baldoni, his team, and their respective companies by disseminating grossly edited, unsubstantiated, new and doctored information to the media. He continued, it is clear based on our own all-out willingness to provide all complete text messages, emails, video footage, and other documentary evidence that was shared between the parties in real time, that this is a battle she will not win and will certainly regret. Blake Lively was either severely misled. Am I having a stroke? Misled, misled. She was misled by her team or intentionally and knowingly misrepresented the truth. On February 3rd, Lively and Baldoni's lawyers appeared to be in pretrial. I'm like, here's another word I've never seen like Petriel pre-trial conference for the first time. They were warned by Judge Lemon to cease sharing materials publicly that could potentially sway a jury ahead of the trials March 20th. There's going to be a trial next March.
I think they're probably gonna settle it. I don't know. I don't think that there's no way Ryan Reynolds is like, he's like TV or a movie golden boy. Like it's not good how it's looking.
It's not good for him.
Oh, this is
No.
funny. ChatGPT, I said, explain this as if I'm Joe Rogan. Dude, you know how insane it is that an actress got final edit on a movie? That never happens. That's like giving the quarterback the ability to fire the head coach mid-game.
It's funny and very Joe Rogan like. You know what? I'm warming up to this AI.
Yeah, and I bought this new little gadget. It's called like this and Elgato what is it called? Teleprompter, so you can like look at the screen while
Ooh.
it's not that expensive. It's like $100.
I want a prompter.
It's so fun. I'm obsessed with it.
And then when I can't pronounce words like misled, I can blame the teleprompter.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can pull your it's like an extra screen, so you can pull anything onto it, like the super chats or your like screen or whatever you want.
Look at this comment. Blake said this about women to AJ Calloway during a red carpet interview. We just lie. It's a perfect way to get what you want.
Yeah.
She could get away with this for years until now. Yikes.
The thing that sucks is like they're like funny people, her and Ryan. So it's like now you don't know if she, anytime she was joking or people are saying like, oh, like I think I saw the other day, like some TikToker said that he's like, yeah, they had a sign. Ryan Reynolds had a signing or something like where they're signing autographs. And he was like, yeah, I made those posters for my boss. Like to me, it seemed like he was clearly joking, but like there's people that are like reporting it as fact. And then there's like people saying like, oh, well, why would anybody be getting posters for Wolverine? It's been out for a long time. Well, like I just went to Comic-Con in Monaco, and they had like these actors who were, let's just say, not in anything current, and they were signing autographs from shows that were on like 30 years ago. So I don't necessarily think that Ryan Reynolds like staged a signing. I'm sure if he wanted to go, plus like those people, those Comic-Con type people, like if you get a signed thing that's pristine condition, like you can sell that online for thousands of dollars. So I don't buy. That's like going a little too deep into the rabbit hole for me.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I like these comments. Now that the texts are public, it's very clear Baldoni is the victim. Lively had the power here. Harassment is all about power. Baldoni didn't have any of it. Lively yielded all the way through pre-production and production and the premiere. I'm glad everything is coming to light. The evidence is already out. She's the one making allegations, so she's the one that needs to put something out there besides allegations, because all the evidence he's put out there is not looking good at all for Blake.
Wait, I don't understand this. This is another one that ChatGPT gave me. It says on the Joe Rogan note, it says, it's the new McCarthyism, but instead of commies, they're hunting problematic men, and you don't even need to do anything. Just exist in the wrong narrative, and boom, your career is a pile of ashes. I don't get the McCarthyism commies line.
Sound like something he would say.
Does it?
Rogan-esque.
That's funny.
Wow.
Who do you talk like if you were like, oh, I have
an idiot, someone whose baby sucked out all of her brains?
Oh my
who
gosh.
do I sound like?
Not like who do you talk like another comedian like Rose? I don't know, or do you not have a vibe that you kind of?
I don't know, chat. What is my vibe? I all I can think of is this afternoon I was talking to Frank about how I think Adam Sandler is a funny person. I just don't like any of his movies. Like I just don't find any of his any of his characters in any of his movies to be funny.
Who?
Like Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler.
I know he's supposed to be funny. I'm sure he's a lovely man. In fact, I've heard that he's a lovely man. I just can't quite get it up to find him funny. And I was watching like Frank put on this like SNL sketch where Adam Sandler was there, and every like actor he's interacting with is doing an impression of him. So they're all like, they're all doing like Sandler. And that sketch I found freaking hilarious.
That's funny. I have this video with one of the influencers, not one of the bad ones, but where she's like up on a roof and I'm like filming, I'm like the behind the scenes, and then all of a sudden she's like, oh my god, and I'm like start filming her, and she's like, Adam Sandler liked my TikTok. Adam Sandler. And she's like 18, and I'm like, how do you know who Adam Sandler is?
That's cool. He's a great person. I want to find him funny. I really do. I would fit in better with my peers. Everything would be better for me if I like put on his stuff and then laughed, but I just don't. I can't. I don't know. It's sophomoric. I feel like it's boy humor. It's very much boy humor for boys. It's dumb.
That's what I felt like the Deadpool thing was. I didn't really find it that funny.
Deadpool is also boy humor to it.
Kyle didn't find it that funny either, though. Honestly, he was like,
because he's an evolved man.
Maybe no. Just all he cares about is watching sports.
Okay, so he's a sport guy. He's not like a funny guy. I mean, he might have his moments, but
no,
there's different types of guys.
But I mean, like I consider I make jokes, and he's like, he just thinks I'm like the weirdest person he's ever met. Actually,
weirdest, maybe best though.
Yeah, but I like.
Yeah, you know what? I've noticed like when people are not around, people that are very funny, it can be overwhelming, and they don't know how to process it. They just say you're weird, but it's like no, what you're experiencing is having a funny, cool person.
Yes, exactly. Well, I don't mind if somebody doesn't laugh at me, I'll still laugh at myself.
That's good. That's the most important thing. Yeah.
So
interesting. Well, Ari, you were right all along. You were
Thank you.
One of the first people to have Justin's back publicly. I hope he appreciates it.
Steve Sarowitz.
Steve.
My guy. Steve, you're my guy.
If you have some extra bills, I know where you can put them.
It would be such a good movie. I just have so many plans for the movie. You know, maybe I'll cast you in it.
Please. I would love to be, I don't know, maybe like, I don't know. What could I be? A therapist? What would I be? I could be a funny therapist in a movie.
Yeah.
Spectral Citizen. What is girl? What is girl humor then? Enlighten us. Oh God. Unfortunately, girl humor is mom humor. That's a subsect of it. Anything you would talk about with like a hairstylist or makeup artist is girl humor. Shitting on your husband, I guess that's one sort of toxic realm of girl humor, which I don't really like to participate in, but I know that many women do. The whole like they do the like they go, oh, my husband does this, then they'll have entire like conversations with their friends, like, and then they did this, I don't know what my socks are, like, and that's funny to them because all they do is shit on their husbands. But I don't subscribe to that.
It's too bad that all I do is talk to ChatGPT because I'm not around anyone funny. Actually, sometimes ChatGPT is funny though. Actually,
I've tried a couple times with Grok. I'll be like, write a joke for me, and it fucking sucks every time. And I always go, make it funnier. Where's the punchline? Where's the edge? And it's nothing. It's very flaccid. So girl humor, I would say like, Devil Wears Prada. God, what is girl humor?
I don't know.
Really interesting. I
went to a comedy show, and there was a woman comedian, and she was just making fun of her Asian mom. That was pretty funny.
Zhao Ying?
I don't remember her name. No, I think her name's Donna.
Okay.
Donna. Actually, Alex Stein's producer invited me to go, and it was just like a little thing. But my friend had a lot of tequila, and she was, at first it was really fun because she was engaging with a comedian, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm 10 times divorced, like, but then she, like, anything the comedian says, she was like talking, and I was like, babe, like, it's good. Like, I didn't think and then the security came and was like, you're gonna have to leave. And I'm like, and so then I was like, just stop it. It's not
Aw.
totally interactive. I felt bad though, because she was having so much fun. And then she's like, was I crazy? And I'm like, no, but
This is good. Girl humor is talking about relationships and exes. Yes, that's a big part of it.
I don't know if that's humor though. It's more like that's just girls.
It's like how do girls
I don't know if we're like
how do
making
girls make
fun
their
of them
friends
though.
laugh? It's by like
Oh,
kind of shitting on men. And how do men make other men laugh? It's like by being goofy. Like I think men can make other men laugh without ever mentioning women, but women often have to mention men to make other women laugh. Do you know what I mean? Because we're keen observers of behaviors and
or other
relationships
women. I think
or
or
other
other
women.
women.
Yeah.
Like
Not
I've
and people can
I've
say, "Oh,
laughed
because
about
women
other
are
women.
catty." Yes, women can be catty,
Yeah.
but women are the same. Like I always say, your strengths can be used for good or evil, and women are keen observers of people, of interpersonal dynamics. We're nurturers, we're people pleasers, and we're
Yeah.
very empathetic, very almost like psychically perceptive sometimes, and that can be used for
I make
good
fun of
or evil.
myself a lot though too, like with my girlfriends. Like I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I went to the hairstylist and told her to do this," and I don't know, who knows? But like I make fun of myself too, and I think it's funny if
Mm.
I do. Or like I did call her afterwards, and I'm like, "Dude, you're not allowed to drink tequila and go with me anywhere again."
See? Blue Waffle gets it. My wife is evil. Now your wife could use her strengths for good. Just remind
so
her that
funny.
she could turn it around at any point. I'm gonna chew on this. This is a very interesting thought. This idea of like girl humor versus boy
Right.
humor. Maybe I'll do a video about it. Ari, thank you so much for coming
Yeah,
on
thank you for
and
having me.
enlightening us on this topic.
Because
Tell the
I'm like a Baldoni expert now.
You are. Add that to your bio, please. What's coming up for you? Where can people find you?
So I do social media for small businesses and medium-sized businesses. So if your dentist's social media sucks, go to creatorgenius.com and be like, hire them. Or, like your injector, any type of plastic surgeon, they're right up right up my alley. But also I'm Little Miss Jacob everywhere. You can go to littlemissjacob.com, and I have all sorts of merch now. So I have a sweatshirt that says
Ooh.
facts, receipts, timeline, screenshots. That's a cute one. We just put up.
Ooh.
A bunch of cry bully. Not this one, but yeah. Anyway, I have a bunch of cute merch,
I love cute
sweatshirts and
merch.
stuff. Yeah, I'll
That's
have to send
great.
you.
Yes, I
I'll
would
have to
love to
send you.
promote the merch.
I have one that says "Okay, cry bully. The struggle is fake." I
Ooh.
like that one. I think it's funny.
Yes.
Because
I need merch in my life.
there's a lot of cry bullies.
Oh,
And then
tons.
yeah, so
Sweet. I love it. Everyone follow Ari if you're not already. I don't know.
and
what you're doing.
my YouTube channel is actually growing, so I'm actually influences on there. So go follow me on
Ooh.
YouTube. I'm starting to make more content on there, like once a week at least. I have some,
Good.
yeah.
Oh, I love it. Yes. She's going places. She's doing things.
Thanks, Chrissy.
She's a mover and a shaker. Thank you, Ari, for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I miss you. I feel
I
like
miss you
I wish we were back in a hotel at
too.
what's it called, in Arizona, hanging out together.
I know. We'll have to do
Yeah,
something soon.
I know.
Oh my
So
gosh.
close, but so far away.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you to the chat. We appreciate you as always. And we'll see you all next time. Bye.